ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।
Assalamu alaikum. I am Karim Ahmed and this is our special podcast in connection with Kashmir Solidarity Day, which is observed on 5th of Feb. And we have with us Mr. Hamid, Waleed, a well-known political analyst. Sir, thank you very much for your arrival.
Thank you.
Mr. Hamid, Waleed, please tell us what is the significance of this 5th Feb? Is it just a calendar date or is it more than that?
It is more than that. You know, the relationship between the Kashmiris and Pakistanis is centuries old. If you do not say it is decades old. You know, Hazrat Quaid-e-Azam Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say Kashmir is the jugular vein of Pakistan. And the importance of Kashmir with regard to Pakistan is like heart to a body. You know, Kashmir is a heart of Pakistan. We cannot live without Kashmir. And this 5th of Feb, this day, which we mark since the early 1990s, it started with the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who made it an official public day for the Pakistanis, just to express our solidarity, our unity, and our strong ties and relationships with Kashmiris. You know it that Kashmiris, either they are youngsters, either they are elders, either they are women, either they are young chaps who have been exposed to the pelted guns over the last many days, many years, many decades. They are suffering over there. They are living in the biggest ever prison on the earth, which is Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, IIO-J&K. So when we observe 5th of Feb, we tell to the whole world that we stand with the Kashmiris, their struggle, their right to plebiscite, their right to self-determination, which has been acknowledged, which has been recognized by the United Nations back in 48. And India tried to mislead the United Nations. India tried to mislead Pakistan, but India cannot mislead Kashmiris. Despite all the bad things it has been doing over the last so many decades, Kashmiris are determined to their liberation. They are determined to their freedom, and they are paying the price. They are giving their lives. They are giving their blood to their movement, the freedom movement.
Sir, you have elaborated in detail about the issue of Kashmir. So if we track down the history of Kashmir, Kashmir is a bone of contention between Pakistan and India, and both countries have fought war over this issue. And this issue is still pending at UN as well. If we track down the history of Kashmir, it is linked with the partition of subcontinent. It is said that when British rulers were dividing the subcontinent and they were drawing lines on the paper and they were deciding that this piece of land would go to Pakistan and this piece of land would go to India, at that time there were almost 500 princely states in the subcontinent. And at that time, you can say just like a principle so far, it was decided that the population of certain state would be a key factor in deciding whether that state goes with Pakistan or with India. So at that time we had two states, like first is Junagadh and second is Kashmir. The ruler of Junagadh was Muslim, but the population was Hindu.
Yep.
And as far as Kashmir is concerned, the ruler was non-Muslim, a Sikh, but the majority population was Muslim. So India claims that at that time Maharaja had accepted to be part of India, and they had document regarding this. As a commentator, as a political analyst, how do you view this Indian claim?
Look, this is false claim. This is baseless claim. India has nothing to do with Kashmir, especially you yourself has made it, elaborated the point that the principle of freedom, the principle of division between Pakistan and India, Pakistan and Hindustan, was that the referendum will be the key to the freedom, and therefore all the Muslim majority areas, all the Muslim majority provinces and that time the territories, they voted for Pakistan, and in 46 they held a referendum to that effect, and Quaid-e-Azam had been very proactive. But in case of princely states, yes, the Indian Maharaja Hari Singh who decided to stay aloof, and Pakistan signed that document at that time as well, but India did not. And when India tried to subjugate Kashmir, there was uprising, and especially the tribal youngsters went there for the liberation. At that time, Maharaja Hari Singh called for a help from the India, and India was already had its ulterior motives and plans. So it deployed its army over there, and the rest is the history. But I salute to the Kashmiris, I salute to the youngsters, I salute to the Kashmiri leadership, which has constantly been fighting for their right to self-determination. And I also acknowledge the kind of resilience shown by the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, where the resolutions 38, 39, 43 and then 51, they were passed over there, and these resolutions are still there. And after 5th of August 2019, when India tried to abdicate the status of state of Kashmir, even after that, the UN did not agree with the new map of Kashmir, and it resisted to the Indian move. India has tried in so many ways to malign Pakistan vis-a-vis the freedom movement in Kashmir. Like sometimes it's said, the terrorists are infiltrating from Pakistan to India when there were 9/11, and after that FATF issues were there, and Pakistan paid heavy price for this propaganda. But with the passage of time, Indian Chronicles, which was published in Europe and over there, it was pointed out that those professors who have died since long, articles have been written in their name, and a false propaganda has been made regarding the infiltration of freedom fighters from Pakistan to India. Pakistan has been supporting Kashmir cause politically, morally, and that's all. Pakistan does not believe in interfering in the cross-border affairs. Instead, the kind of moral support, the kind of political support Pakistan has extended on each and every forum since day one. Even Quaid-e-Azam spoke about Palestine. Quaid-e-Azam spoke about Kashmir, and he said that Kashmir is the jugular vein of Pakistan, and we believe in it, and we will keep supporting the cause of the Kashmiris, of the youngsters, of the women who have been raped after there, of the villagers whose houses had been razed. So these kind of atrocities which India used to carry out in Kashmir, despite all the odd situations, Kashmiris are genuine to their cause. They are true to their freedom movement, and Pakistan is there to support them. And that's all the whole case. So Kashmir Solidarity Day, which we observe on 5th of every February, every year, since the then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif announced it as a national day, and not only now in Pakistan, but throughout the world. A few days back in France, the mission and our foreign diplomat over there, Zahra Saba, Mumtaz Zahra Baloch, she organized a ceremony over there where Kashmir cause was against. It was raised over there, and they said that we are supporting it.
Mr. Hamid, Waleed, you have mentioned that India committed to hold plebiscite in Indian Kashmir, Indian illegally occupied Kashmir, back in 1948 and 49 at UN. Here comes the dual standard of India as a state and Indian government's double standard. When there was issue of East Timor and there was issue of South Sudan, India committed that the will of the people must be known before deciding their fate. But when the issue of Kashmir comes, India goes silent. How do you view India's double standard on this issue?
India has been exposed for a number of times over their double standard, especially you know that the Article 370, which was part of the Indian Constitution, and they said that they accept, they acknowledge the independent status of Kashmir, you know, the Jammu and Kashmir. But later on, they withdrew. They said Article 370 is no more part of the Indian Constitution. It again showed that they are double standard. Then Article 35A, which was about the domicile of the Kashmiris, and no outsider was allowed to purchase, to buy land over there, or to claim their citizen of Jammu and Kashmir. And only reason is that since Kashmir is Muslim majority state, and that is the whole point. And unfortunately, world powers sometimes they also buy this notion, they buy this slogan by the Indians. You know, Pakistan has been fighting for the Kashmiris, either it's in 50s, then 65 war, then 71 war, then the Kargil war, then the latest one, this May 9, 2025, skirmishes between the two sides, where we had crashed there 6 or 7 planes in one go. So Pakistan and India, Pakistan, despite telling again and again to the world at large that we are here for peace, we need regional peace, we need international peace. That is why we have gone to Gaza even now for the peace. We have been in East Timor, we have been in all those areas where there has been some conflict. Pakistan Army has played its role over there to maintain peace. So Pakistan says that we always support peace, we always support negotiations. We believe in that the negotiations between the warring factions will end all kind of disputes. But unfortunately, India tried to misuse against Shimla agreement. You know, they said, look, it's a bilateral dispute. What the role of UN is there? When Bhutto Saab has signed with us the Shimla agreement, there again double standards. Yani before that they went to the UN. It was not Pakistan which went to the
India.
UN.
It was India.
India went to the Nehru went to the UN Security Council.
And they made promises there.
And they not only they signed the resolution, not only promises, not only pledges, they signed on the resolutions. And later on in 65, when there was a Shimla agreement, they said, look, it's bilateral dispute,
issue.
You know, it's between Pakistan and India, and we will discuss and we will resolve it. So the double standard, these kinds of you can say that dual faces of the India. Now even you see what Hindutva policy is. Simply all those who are not Hindus, they are not allowed to live in India. What kind of India is this? You know, they are telling us that you are not Hindu, either convert to Hindu, Ghar Vapsi. They started their campaign. And not only the Muslims, but the Sikhs, but the Christians, but the Dalits. And you know, the lawgiver, the constitution giver, Dr. Ambedkar, what he said, that in India there are no classes. People live in different stories. And the one live in second story has no connection with the one who lives on the first story. So India is badly divided into classes. The society is fragmented, and the whole community, a billion population over there, is paying price for this Hindutva.
Okay, sir, you have mentioned that India revoked the Article 370 and 35A. India had been maintaining this special status of Kashmir for more than 70 years. But all of a sudden, in 2019, they decided that we are going to revoke this article. Do you think that India, by revoking this article and this special status of Kashmir, India is doing demographic engineering?
Yes, it is. and it is established fact now that they are trying to sort of change the demographic structure over there. The retired, especially retired Hindu military officers, along with their families, are given the domiciles over there. They are given the right to purchase land, and but still, the last elections over there proved that all these kinds of tactics on the part of Indian government have badly failed. The Kashmiris have never and did not vote for BJP over there, you know. So it suggests that this indigenous kind of freedom movement over there in Kashmir is not sponsored from outside. It is indigenous freedom movement, and they, even before Pakistan came into being, in early 30s, they were killing of Kashmiris. And you know, each one was rising up and saying Allahu Akbar, and there was a gunshot. And that was not Indians, that was, at that time, it was British Raj. So Kashmiris are fighting for their independence, for their self-determination, right to self-determination since long. And the kind of abuse of human rights, the constitutional rights, the freedom to move of movement, the freedom of association, all kind of the rights which are enshrined in the Indian Constitution and are protected and guaranteed in all the constitutions across the world. Kashmiris are the only community on the earth which do not enjoy these rights, just because of India, just because of myopic approach of Hindutva, just because of this terrorist, this fascist Modi. You know, this Modi has maligned the whole situation, and he has given a bad picture of India to the rest of the world, just because of sometimes connection with Israel, sometimes connections with others, and maligning Pakistan. And Alhamdulillah, Pakistan has good neighbors other than India. But China is with us, you know. We have some other neighbors, good neighbors with us. That is why India cannot become chowkidar of the region, cannot become, his hegemonic designs have failed badly.
Sir, you have mentioned human rights abusiveness in Kashmir. Here is another interesting case which we can discuss as well. There are some movements in Khalistan, in Nagaland, in Manipur, and Nagaland as well.
Mm-hmm.
But the level of atrocities being carried out by Indian authorities is much more higher than these states, heinous in Kashmir, as compared to these states. There are reports that Kashmiri youth are being tortured in the mosques under loudspeaker to instill fear among the population. Women are raped, gang raped. Whole villages are gang raped. People are abducted, and authorities are silent. Where are those abductees? There is no law, there is no judicial system, there are extrajudicial killings. So these kind of human rights violations, how do you view as a journalist, as a political analyst, why international bodies are silent? Why international institutions, international watch groups are ignoring this kind of heinous violation of human abuses or human rights violation?
Yes. That is a cause of concern for every good conscious person on this earth. And by the way, Amnesty International and United Nations Human Rights Group and other groups, Human Rights Watch, these groups try to highlight the atrocities being carried out over there in Kashmir, and they used to tell that they use rape as a tool of torture against Kashmiris. You know, the number of widows is abnormally high over there. And the kind of atrocities they carry out over there. Even the pellet guns they use, the pellet shots they use against the youngsters, the 15 or 16 years. And Burhan Wani is one of the examples. You know, they carried out these kind of atrocities over there. And now recently what they did, they have started a survey asking the mosques and the committees that who is funding you. You know, so they have tried to religiously torture the people. so that they should close down their worship places. That's what they are doing over there. And recently, the Indian Supreme Court has given a ruling that the abdication of or the revocation of Article 370 is the right of the Indian government, and it can do so. So, Pakistan government, Pakistan Foreign Office has rejected this view of the Indian Supreme Court. And the reason why these atrocities are not highlighted to the level which is required to be, the reason is that India does not allow the international human rights organizations to enter the state. The internet service always remains suspended over there. And recently they have questioned journalists that why you are reporting the kind of surveys we are carrying out over there. So journalists are under threat, youngsters are under threat, women folk is under threat, elders are under threat. And this Amir Wais Umar Farooq is not allowed to give Friday sermon to the Jamia Mosque. He is not allowed to go to Jammu and Kashmir. So these kind of violations are going on and they are being reported in media. Yes, the conscience of the international community is not alive to the extent which we expect, but the indigenous kind of movement, and you look when Gaza paid the price and when their children, when their women were butchered by this Israeli prime minister, the whole world stood up and they came to the streets and they came to the roads and they said, this is not fair. There is always a heavy price of a cause, of a movement. It is, you give through your blood, you sacrifice your lives. That's what we have seen in Gaza. That's what we are watching in Jammu Kashmir, Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And inshallah, a day will come when these reports, which are being published by the UN, by the Amnesty International, they will carry weight. And India and Indian prime ministers will be summoned to the International Court of Justice for all their tyranny, for all their atrocities they have carried out. Yani, 1 million military troops are there.
It's a highly militarized zone.
Yes, highly military. Each and every house is being guarded, is being by the military man with a gun in his hand. So you just imagine the kind of the agony they are facing over there, the Kashmiris.
Sir, you have rightly mentioned that one day Indian Prime Minister might be summoned.
Might not, inshallah, will be summoned.
Summoned by any international agency.
Not the agency, International Court of Justice.
To be held responsible for the atrocities which are being carried out in Kashmir. Even UN is unable to do something concrete because I quote, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres once said, I quote, India does not listen to us, unquote.
Yes.
So this is the state of affairs. India constantly ignoring the international community. Yes. Even India ignores the UN authority, UN body, UN groups, UN watch groups. So whenever there is human rights violation across the globe, UN gets up and tries to something to tackle down that situation or takes measures to cool down the situation or it puts together different countries to do something concrete. But you had mentioned that, but India is ignoring all this.
Yes, every tyrant, is supposed to ignore what the human conscience demands from it, But I'm happy that the resolutions passed by United Nations Security Council are intact. I'm happy that UN did not adopt the new map of India, Mahabharat map. Did not. They said sorry.
That's good.
So these are the points and these are the facts. These are the factors which should be kept in mind when we say that international community is doing nothing. This is Antonio Guterres who used to say that Kashmir is the biggest ever prison on earth.
That's true.
That's what he said. It's the Amnesty International which pointed out that its representatives are not allowed to get in. The international media used to say we are not allowed to report what is going on in Indian held Kashmir or Indian illegally occupied in Jammu and Kashmir, So there are voices, there are sane voices, and inshallah they'll come when Kashmir will get liberated.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hamid. Waleed, you have rightly mentioned that India has turned this paradise into a human prison,
Yep.
an open prison, and people are not allowed to live their own life according to their own set of beliefs. They are struggling to get freedom from India, and inshallah one day they will get this
Inshallah.
fulfilled. And Pakistan has been supporting, Pakistan has always supported, and inshallah Pakistan will always support Kashmiris diplomatically, politically and morally, and Pakistanis are standing with our Kashmiri brothers and sisters. Inshallah a day will come that Kashmir will be free from India, and it will be part of Pakistan. Thank you very much for your arrival and talking to Radio
Welcome,
Pakistan.
sir.
ये रेडियो पाकिस्तान पॉडकास्ट है।